This continent is so rich. Honestly, the now you kind of think, where do you want to go on holiday? You know, there's so many places, so many experiences across the continent that are there to be had. The only thing is, I think we need to develop quite a bit. We also need to manage things like our ability to move around the continent more freely as Africans. This is one of the most difficult continents for moving around. It's easier for me it's easier for me to move around in Europe than for me to move around in Africa.
Looking back through those troubles, through different countries, what stayed with you?
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Clock.
How do you deal with stress? How do you handle that?
Coping mechanisms that I have is I go for a run.
Manage stress by obviously being moments like this. Directly saying I'm going off the clock.
Just even a night out.
I'm listening to my favorite music. I go into one of the studios at the gym and I dance.
Some cocktails and rest and just do nothing.
I ground myself spiritually.
The right amount of stress is good.
All right, welcome to Off the Clock. Today we have a very special guest, the son of the soil, the real African man from Africa, running probably one of the most iconic brands, Pernod Ricard in Africa. And yeah, Sola, we're going to be quizzing you about, who you are, where you came from, and how you met your wife as well. But I think before we get there, I just want you to introduce yourself the way you like.
Okay, thank you first for having me. So, like you said, my name is Sola Oke. I am the managing director for Pernod Ricard Africa, based in South Africa. I am Nigerian, but I've lived in South Africa for quite a bit, and the continent is one of the places I enjoy working.
Okay. So, Nigerian MD of Pernod Ricard Africa. What were you before that?
Before the Africa role, I started in Pernod Ricard about 10 years ago, or just over 10 years, 2014 to be precise, as marketing director for the Nigeria business. And then after that, I did that for about 2.5 years, and then became the MD for South Central Africa, which is 5 countries that surround South Africa, except South Africa. So Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Malawi, and Mozambique. And after that, I went back to Nigeria to manage Nigeria and West Africa, or Western Africa, which is 22 countries in West Africa, all the way down to Central Africa. And now I'm sitting as the MD for the continent.
Wow. I think I told you that in November, I visited Ireland. And, of course, I did a tour of Guinness. Which is probably a big property, probably from here to Paulshof or Sunning Hill, of walkabout doing that beer. I didn't enjoy it a lot. But I think the one thing that I took away from that trip, I was quite surprised, as the author of Winning in Africa, that Guinness has got about probably a market share of just under 50% of their sales come from Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, if any company can do that, I think your company can get closer to that. And then, of course, I visited one of your brand, Jameson Distillery, which I enjoyed quite a little bit.
Yeah.
Very classy. They had a variation of the whole thing. And I didn't know. I mean, those companies are surviving with one brand. And now I just understood that. I always, when I met Irish people around the world, they had a culture of enjoying their drinks and until AMs everywhere, and their tolerance for alcohol was good. Then I was able to see the culture, where the culture is coming from. I mean, those companies were like bold in the 1940s and
Even longer than that.
Even longer than that.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was listening to the story about Guineas, one of the milestones was that they used to give people few beers over lunch, and they discontinued that because I think it was creating a little bit of fights at work. But the one thing that they kept was because people working there, some of them were poor, they gave them a meal, a very good meal, balanced meal, once a day. And you've been with Pernod Ricard for so long. Would you say the company's in your blood? All those strong drinks are in your blood?
I would say it's a culture that I enjoy, and Pernod Ricard is about conviviality. So we say we're creators of conviviality. So I enjoy the culture of the company. So you can say yes, Pernod Ricard is in my blood. At least it enables me in terms of what I do, But maybe just bringing it back to your Jameson conversation.
Yeah.
Jameson is one of the biggest brands on the continent. And Jameson Select in South Africa, or Black Barrel for the rest of Africa, is actually Africa would be Africa is the third across the world for
third biggest
market for Black Barrel or Select Reserve for Jameson.
Wow.
And Jameson is originally from Ireland.
Ireland, yeah.
Okay. So how do you... I know I'm just interjecting here, but I was just thinking, with these brands that are from Ireland and all that, with Africa being as culturally diverse as it is, like big continents, so many countries, how do you localize and get people to connect with these foreign brands that you bring over?
Yeah.
And, almost make it a part of their lives, like, let's go after work and drink a Jameson or something like that. So how do you guys do that?
No, but you just said the word. How do you localize it?
Yeah,
so it has to be, you find a way to connect to local culture, make it relevant for Africans and whatever the country. It's that connection in terms of local relevance, that we try to find the level of engagement. We try to find what that connection is across those brands which are international and have been around since 1700s, and what is the connection with Africa, what is the connection with our culture as well, and how do we make it relevant for the continent.
Give us some examples. I mean, do you brew this stuff locally to make that connection?
No.
Nothing is brewed here on all your brands?
No.
Even in Varoche?
Except in Varoche, I was going to come to that. So you were talking about Jameson. So so when you talk about whiskey, Irish whiskey needs to be made in Ireland. So you can't make it anywhere else. Scotch whiskey has to be made in Scotland. Cognac has to be made in France. However, we've got, Pernod Ricard has the largest portfolio of drinks in the world for any multinational in the spirits and wines.
Would you say it's number one in that regard?
Yes.
Okay.
Clearly. We are number one. There's no category of spirits that you want that we don't have a brand in.
So probably drinking your drinks, I don't even know.
Yeah,
but I enjoy them.
Yeah, probably. Probably. And I hope you're enjoying them responsibly as well.
Yeah, not much as water, but...
So, we manufacture quite an array of brands. Invaroche is one that is local to South Africa, that we, as Pernod Ricard, has bought into.
What do you mean bought into? You own
we own
shares?
No, we own it now. We
all
own
of it?
Yeah, we own Invaroche 100% as Pernod Ricard. And it started as a local South African brand.
And you've internationalized the brand?
Yes, we are building it as one of the first true African luxury brands that will be global.
And how's that going?
It's going. Like everything, it takes time. So we continue to build the brand. But Inverse in South Africa is quite a household name, and we're beginning to expand that into the rest of the continent, but also globally as well.
Okay. As the Africa MD of Penner Dry Cut, what are the type of decisions that keep you awake at night that HQ doesn't know?
That HQ doesn't know.
Yeah.
They're gonna know now.
Exactly. No, there's nothing that HQ doesn't know. But again, in terms of things that keep me awake, I think one of the things on the continent that actually changes really fast and sometimes is more about regulation. You know, policy regulation in Africa can change overnight, and that impacts your business in significant ways. So it's really how you manage those conversations to understand, and especially in a continent that is vast, a continent that is wide, regulation impacts the way you do business, and the risk is if it's overnight, it will impact the survival of your business and your ability to do business.
To make money.
Well, to do business at the end of the day.
So apart from regulation, what keeps you awake?
I sleep like a baby.
I mean, with all that in mind, I mean, sleeping like a baby, how many hours do you do a night?
Average.
Yeah.
4 and a half.
Is that sleeping like a baby?
So, not sleeping like a soldier.
See, that's why I'm tracking how I sleep. So,
quality, not quantity.
But to your point, I think, and this is off the clock. So, I'm challenged in terms of how many hours I get. So I usually sleep 4.5. I sleep quite late.
What time? Midnight?
About 1 o'clock every day. I'm in the.
I'll call you tonight, 12:30.
I'll pick up. Actually, you know the irony of it is some people send me a message at 12 midnight thinking I'm not gonna respond, and I actually do respond. You know, sometimes just to tick the person off, but I do respond. Yeah. But yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're married? With
Yes, I am.
kids?
Yes, I am.
How many?
2 kids, 2 girls, 14 years old.
Okay, you're gonna add on?
No, I'm done.
You're done.
Does your wife know
You scared
this?
to have another girl?
No, not at all. I'm very comfortable with my girls. No, she knows we're done.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that she's not knowing here the first time that you're done. Because that
No,
could
she
be-
knows. The
Okay.
girls are 14. What? Age gap?
We've met people who have a proper age gap as well. You know,
No.
kids.
Like 17
So-
years.
17.
So we accept people's choices. So how did you meet her?
We actually used to work together.
So it was not arranged.
No.
It wasn't an HR violation either.
No. No. That's a good point. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't an HR violation. No, the irony of it was we actually went to the same university. So I went to the University of Lagos.
Oh, okay.
And in Nigeria, my first degree.
You didn't see her there?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. She was actually friends with one of my closest friends, but never met her then. Didn't know who she was, and then we worked together and we met while we were working together.
Okay. How was that like? I mean,
we're married now, so it must have been good.
no, I'm just saying from a dating standpoint. I mean, you know, some people can be very impulsive, meet the person, and marry in 2 months. You know, some people date a little bit, you know, and get a feel of each other.
Yeah.
Before they say I do. You know.
I think we dated for a bit, about a year. There was a bit of on and off there somewhere, and then I moved to Cameroon actually. And she
followed you?
No, she was she was working, so she stayed in Nigeria, and
Started
then
missing her.
no, we saw each other. I used to travel a lot, actually every week. So it started as once a month, and then that became every 2 weeks. That became every week. It used to cost me a fortune, but yeah, I used to go home every week. So I used to see her every week.
That was Douala. You moved to Douala.
I moved to Douala. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And traditionally, I mean, how does that process look like in your tribe in Nigeria? You know, here, when my son decides to marry, it's probably going to be a lobola process, which involves the two families kind of meeting and haggling around the lobola price,
which is the bride price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bride price. Is he gonna pay?
Knowing my dad, no.
Wow.
No.
Should get him to pay.
No free things.
No, for my tribe it's similar, but again, my parents are quite liberal, and her parents were as well. So you do the Lebola type thing, which is more for us engagement. You know, you go meet the family, then you have a conversation. But to be fair, her dad gave me back my bride price. You know,
how did that work? I mean, how did that work? Is this out of feeling pity for you or out of love?
I was a struggling young man. No, it was more out of love. He just returned it basically. He wasn't
interested in your money.
No, and I was a sweet guy. I'm a sweet guy.
That's direct marketing. Sweet guy.
No, it was we had a very good relationship, and yeah, she reminds me every day that I got my money back. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You wanna step in?
No.
You like the story?
No, I'm just wrapping my head around the whole they gave you back the money. It's like, I would never see my dad doing that, like when my sister got married. Gave my brother-in-law back the money. Oh, no, that would never happen.
You really have to bring this up.
I mean, you brought me up saying I'm going to get married, lobola, all that. I'm just using examples I've seen.
Exactly. So this is an example. So you should.
Well, maybe the girl I married, I need to get her father to watch this episode and be like, I'm a sweet guy too.
Exactly.
I don't think that is enough. You need to connect with the father-in-law.
Yes,
like,
you do.
Very deep.
Yeah.
Be like, feels like, you know, you are his son now.
I think what will get me over the line is if we probably support the same football team, but that will probably
that helps.
Yeah.
What, South African team?
Just
whatever the team is.
Whatever the team is there. But
if it's
I
Arsenal,
guess,
it's better.
And you see, my brother-in-law's an Arsenal fan.
Ooh.
But he didn't get back the money. But question I wanted to ask was, in terms of like, you spoke about the luxury brands.
Yeah.
In your company. I wanted to know, basically, what is something that people don't understand about? Because when people think about Africa, especially globally, they really think about this place that is just a jungle. Like, people will be like, they have cars in Africa. And this is like now in 2026, people will be saying that they have this, they have that.
Yeah.
They have schools, they have actual tar roads.
Yeah.
So what is something that you've seen running this business that people don't understand about, like, the premium African consumer, the ones who buy luxury brands and all that? What is some misconceptions that people just get wrong, don't understand about it, or clearly have never thought that far, that these types of consumers are in Africa?
Yeah. I think it's exactly that. Sometimes that the misconception that luxury doesn't thrive in Africa, it's actually the opposite. You know, there are countries that I've been to that we sell some interesting brands that even sometimes you're wondering how is this happening here. So if you and again you look at certain cities from Lagos to Johannesburg to I'm not even talking about Cape Town. Go to Luanda, go to Kinshasa, go to Nairobi. There's a lot of those African countries where, even in terms of luxury cars that you've never seen in Europe or in the States or in all those places, you see it in Africa. The African consumer is actually quite premium, right? We enjoy the opulence of very premium brands and experiences, you know. So when you go to even from a on-trade or restaurant perspective, look at South Africa, look at Johannesburg, look at even when you go to Durban, the restaurant or on-trade kind of outlets you go to mimics any other place in the world, right? And sometimes it tops it, you know, because our culture is about experience. It's about community. It's about engagement. So the way we kind of engage, it's not the same way you would do that in Europe. You know, we like community.
Yeah.
We like togetherness. We like to walk in the door and it's about showing off. We like to show off as well, to be honest. So so the brands that we kind of speak to in our markets, I mean, high net worth individuals, there are quite a few dollar millionaires in Africa. You know,
very true.
Yeah, that a lot of people don't even understand. So the continent is quite rich. We're a very rich continent. But to your point, we like premiumness, we like luxury, we like experiences. And Africa, you get a lot of that because we understand the mindset of our people and what they enjoy. And even a guy that might not be at the certain level wants to once a week go into an experience where he's going to save his money and go to a very nice restaurant just to wine, dine, experience that, you know, because that's what we enjoy.
And that's good for your company.
That's good for Africa.
Eventually. I mean, with all that in mind, which country is your number one seller from a revenue standpoint?
In terms of countries, I think South Africa is a big country for us, is a big market for us. So is Nigeria. In Nigeria, we are number one when it comes to certain categories. So cognac, some of the whiskey brands, Jameson is number one in Nigeria, similar to markets like South Africa as well.
I mean, I'll think that maybe bubbly, the champagnes that you have maybe are big in Nigeria, no?
Champagne across the continent, I mean, we've got brands like Moum and Perrier-Jouet.
Yeah.
Nigeria is a big champagne market, but again, you know, things kind of move along. So again, it's about priorities, prioritizations, what do you want to focus on, those kind of things.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, you've been around the continent, kind of a son of the soil, moving around.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your favorite country apart from Nigeria?
Ooh. Do I have a favorite country? I think the experiences across the markets are different. You know, I was in going to Zambia.
Okay.
You know, you experience different things. It depends on what you're looking for. So Zambia is a bit more relaxed as a country. So if you the experience Lusaka with the people, Douala, in terms of in terms of the food is off the chain. Even if it's street food, it feels like gourmet meals that you're having on the road. So Lagos, you can't compare nightlife. You know, coming from dirty December, that evolution of what goes on in Nigeria's nightlife. Johannesburg, nightlife. Cape Town, the experiences. So the continent is there's so many things happening. Luanda, in Angola, if you go there, Ivory Coast, the continent, Abidjan, you know, the beach vibes, so every country has a uniqueness and an experience that kind of speaks to that country, and it depends on what you're looking for. So I can't say there's one that is, this is my favorite, but again, Mozambique, you know, seafood, the beach. There's so much across this continent is so rich. Honestly, the now you kind of think, where do you want to go on holiday? You know, there's so many places, so many experiences across the continent that are there to be had. The only thing is, I think we need to develop quite a bit. We also need to manage things like our ability to move around the continent more freely as Africans. This is one of the most difficult continents for
moving around.
It's
Just
easier
from
for me
like
to
border to border.
Yeah, it's easier for me to move around in Europe than for me to move around in Africa.
Yeah, created by the Europeans.
Exactly.
In 1822. The now that you spoke about the cuisines and you're in Nigeria and West Africa, what surprised me the most? Have you been to Soweto?
Yes, I have.
Okay. What surprised me the most was
he's laughing.
Was this concept of when you slaughter, you don't kind of skin.
Skin the
beast, whatever.
I don't agree with that because I don't know, but we actually do
all the time.
It depends. Some people actually skin and shave it off completely. Some people
shave
burn.
Off. They burn and shave off, and I, that's the experience that I had.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I can show you the first time I went to Nigeria. I stayed at the Sheraton in Lagos.
Yeah.
And I picked up the menu. Wanted to order steak. There's like steak from South Africa to differentiate between obviously getting the local
beef.
one,
Yeah.
which may be shaved or of the fair bend or whatever and spicy a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about that cuisine.
Cuisine it's unique to the different countries, but for example, South Africans enjoy steak. We don't eat steak the same way, or we don't eat beef the same way you guys eat, steak. So South Africa is one of those markets. You've got probably one of the best steaks in or on the continent. So when you go to the Sheraton and you're speaking to international customers, that want a steak, of course you go to which part of the continent does steak that way. But when you get to Nigeria, we do beef stew. It's different from steak. So we like our beef, we chop it, we put it in stew, we put some pepper and some things in, and that's how we eat it. So it's different. So the way we kind of consume it is different.
So you like it with fufu?
I don't eat fufu, but I eat amala. You know what amala is?
Amala is what?
It's cassava flour.
Cassava. Oh, with cassava.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some egusi. That's very good.
Egusi?
Yeah.
Okay. And you get it here?
Yeah. Most African countries, you will get Nigerian food somewhere. Even in Europe, in the States, and anywhere in the world, there's one guy that is cooking Nigerian food.
But this is true because I remember I was driving in Randburg the one day and I just saw this one store. It's like the color palette of the store is green and white.
Yeah.
And it said, I forgot what the name was, but underneath it says where you can get authentic Nigerian cuisine.
Yeah.
And I was like, this just showed up out of nowhere. And I was like, maybe one day if I ever get interested enough, I'll go try this out.
But there are places that, one of the things that people are doing now is actually African cuisine. There are a few restaurants in Joburg, in
like Moja.
Yeah, not even other cities as well. So it's beginning to fuse African cuisine and create experiences that are more international. So you take, whether it's jollof rice from Nigeria, you take suya from Nigeria, you take steak from South Africa, you take pap from South Africa, you take plantain, you take.
So it's like an African buffet.
Yeah, so it's just creating those experiences across
the fusion.
Yeah, the fusion of and doing food in different ways so that you can experience the continent, because we're very rich when it comes to food. It's not a lot of the European style meals. Africa is rich.
So would you say that Nigerian food is your number one?
Hey, I'm one of those people that I love Nigerian food because I grew up
eating
Nigerian food. So
it's familiar to you.
I'm Nigerian. It's my culture, but I've experienced food in other places that are quite interesting.
So what would you say? And obviously, we're keeping it to Africa.
Yeah.
Which other African country, let's just say outside of South Africa, wowed you with the food?
Cameroon.
Yeah. What?
It's just the way they it's less about the food itself, but it's how it's prepared and how flavorful it is in the way they prepare it, and how, like I was saying, you could get street food that feels like gourmet meals. Fish. I fell in love with soul fish in Cameroon. It's amazing, the way they kind of prepare that. But of course, jollof rice will always be number one.
I didn't want to say anything about jollof rice because I didn't want to sound like.
Do you really want to know? I'm African, so I will not.
No, you're a true African.
I will not speak to the jollof wars.
But I tend to agree with you. I've been a few times to Douala.
Yeah.
And also to once in Yemen, and then to the southwest of Cameroon to go see a king there. I was quite impressed.
Yeah.
Wearing typical African king, like if you've seen the movie Moving to America or Go to America, wearing a leopard skin.
Yeah.
But very fascinating story. I put a little bit in the book.
In the book, yeah.
Because the guy was a custom agent in Douala during the week.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
book.
you said. Yeah,
So,
okay,
but,
yes.
He slaughtered a goat for us as a kind of a thing, but it took long to cook. We needed to dry back. But the food.
Did you eat the goat?
They waited, didn't you?
We waited.
You waited, yeah. I remember reading that. You waited, right?
But
because it was going to be rude not to.
You can't. The king says, with his chiefs around, says, the goat is cooking, and you stay.
Yeah.
It sounds like a threat.
No, it's culture. It's respect for people like that.
Yeah, the hierarchy.
Yeah.
But you're right, because I enjoy the food in Cameroon because they do something like biryani, where they mix not rice and meat, but rice and some vegetables and chicken or beef or whatever in it, and mix it up and very tasty. Generally, I think African food is tasty because
Tasty,
it's not grown in mass, and all that stuff is like like a free range beef and free range chicken, free range vegetables. They're like grown. They're not like fast grown with antibiotics and vitamins and stuff.
We've been doing free range before everybody else started, differentiating free range and whatever else.
The whole grass fed.
Yeah, we grass.
That's what we know.
That's what we know. It's all the cows have been moved from city to city. They've been eating grass. There's no specific. Yeah, so free range has always been there for Africa.
So earlier when we spoke, you said, you don't sleep long. You said what? About 4 hours?
Yeah, four and a half. Yeah.
I mean,
But ideally, want to do 7, 8, but you can't.
Yeah, ideally, yeah. Because again, I wake up. My kids go to school 6:30. So regardless of whenever I sleep, I'll wake up to say bye to the kids and then potentially go back to sleep. But
You don't take them?
No, they go in the school bus.
But you said, oh, they go on a bus. Okay,
Yeah, they
that's
go on
a
a
nice
bus.
experience.
Yeah.
They can enjoy the ride without you.
They're grown ups now. They're 14. So, but it's easier for them to go with the bus. So I wake up when they get up and they're about to go to school.
You don't
every
feel
day.
you don't feel like taking a nap in the afternoon after you woke
No.
up so early?
No, once I'm awake, I'm awake. I'm that person that I sleep when I sleep. You know, taking naps in between, I can't. I don't know how to.
Okay.
One of my best experiences was I took a 30-minute nap on a plane once.
Yeah.
And that was like the best sleep I've ever had. And I don't know. This was before the plane even took off. So it was one of those days I was exhausted, I was tired, and and then I woke up like really energized, and I wish every day I want to go back to that plane.
You must try it. Yeah, it's nap on the plane is actually quite good. I don't know, my mind, especially if I take a morning flight to say Cape Town or somewhere.
Yeah.
When the plane takes off, I take a nap until it hits the altitude.
The 2 hours.
Like maybe 10, 15 minutes, which is like power.
Yeah.
I got a tendency of doing those naps. But
I think people that can do that, you're very lucky. Because some of us can't. That power nap conversation, it's tough. It's hard for somebody like me.
Okay.
Because when I'm awake, I'm awake. That's it. You know? Yeah.
I sleep well. I don't have a sleeping problem. When you first moved to South Africa, what really surprised you about South Africa from a different standpoint to Nigeria? What stood out? I mean,
infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
South Africa, and I've been coming to South Africa for maybe now close to 20 years, but the infrastructure. How you guys, or South Africa has the big motorways, infrastructure was one thing that really stood out for me.
Yeah, I mean,
compared to the rest of the continent, compared to even Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, you coming from Lagos, I can understand that. They tried so many, highway dedicated lanes and things doesn't work.
Yeah,
just always blocked up to paint
Exactly.
the taxis yellow. It's just been a challenge that I watched every time I go to Nigeria. And but I think the traffic in Nigeria it's crazy. I mean, not Nigeria but Lagos.
Yeah,
because Abuja is different.
Very different.
So, which is good for people who are vendors or hawkers selling the stuff because the traffic is slow enough for you to make your daily sales on the cars that are moving. Doesn't matter what you sell. Like the market is there for you.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I mean, I thought you'll talk about generators, the difference as well. Because the thing that I noticed going to Nigeria again, in between, I think it was 2015, I went to Nigeria like 11 times in 1 year.
Yeah.
And I really got to understand a lot of details. Sometimes when you go to a place once, you missed a lot of things.
Yeah.
The number of generators that are power problem popping up everywhere. There used to be those South African hotel chains next to the airport and those suburbs there.
Southern Sun? Which one?
Not Southern Sun. The one that the same group that owns Melrose Arc Hotel, which is now, I think, is the much more bigger global group that is bought into those hotels. There were about 7 or 8 in Nigeria, and they bought them. Protea hotels.
Protea. Yes, the Proteas.
So because they sent a general manager for that hotel next to, I forgot the name of the suburb next to the airport, where it was. Yeah, it was in
Protea
Ikeja.
in Ikeja.
In
Yeah,
Ikeja,
yeah.
So I used to stay there because initially I liked the fancy hotel at the Victoria Island and all that, but getting out of there with traffic was sobering. Uh, so I just stayed next to the airport. I don't miss my flight.
It's still there, the Protea.
Yeah, but it's under different management. I think I forgot the global group that bought into those hotels. So I speak to the manager there about the power, the backup power.
Yeah.
And he said, I've got 3 generators. If this one fails, I'll use this one and this one.
Yeah.
Somebody once told me, you can confirm it, that, the best gift that you can give to anybody in Nigeria as a respect, you can give them a generator.
Generators are not cheap either. So it depends, but power has been a big challenge in a market like Nigeria, because for you to be able to do business, you need power, right? Yeah. And you see what the impact was in South Africa with load shedding when it was really bad. Great thing now, it's been almost 2 years?
Without
without
the longest run without load
shedding.
shedding.
Without load shedding. So
which we take it for granted.
Exactly. A lot of small businesses were impacted with load shedding. So you can imagine running a business in a market like Nigeria where everybody has a backup generator. Now what it is, they're moving into solar energy, and most places, like some places here, where people have backup, but the backup here is more solar, more kind of clean energy versus the generators is more renewable energy, right? So, but power has been it's something that it's been worked on in terms of how do we fix that, increasing the capacity of the grids, but again, continues to be a challenge for us.
Yeah, that's it's been as long as I've been going to Nigeria since 2004.
Yeah,
and
it's been there long before that.
It will be there long after that.
No, we're hoping that we'll get to a place where, like South Africa, there'll be less load shedding.
Just less.
Just less.
So, you've been how many countries on the continent as MD, CEO of Pernod Ricard? All of them?
All of them, 54. There's 54 countries.
Have you been to all of them?
I haven't been to all of them.
How many have you been to?
Ooh, I haven't counted, to be honest.
I've
been to a few.
It will help.
I don't know how many I've been to, but I've been to a few,
Yeah. Looking back through those travels to different countries, what stayed with you in your mind?
Diversity. How culturally rich we are in Africa. When I started, when I was younger in my career, I didn't want to be the African expert. When you work for a multinational, you want to go global. You want to go to different places. You want to go. Those were the draws. That's what's interesting. But being on the continent and having had the career that I've had, I'm actually glad, because the continent is quite rich, and every country is different.
Do you dance?
Only in the shower.
But such as, do you also sing when you're there?
No. In the shower, only my wife gets annoyed by my singing. No, but music to the point.
Say no more. That means it's not good.
So I have 2 left feet, so I'm not a great dancer. My wife says I only know one move. So.
Oh, really?
But the move gets me everywhere. It's consistent.
So you've mastered this move.
But what really fascinated me has also been the different dance styles and things in the continent, and which one stayed with you? Not you, but watching, observing as you travel.
It's different. Again, the continent is diverse, right? So, if are you talking modern or are you talking traditional?
Traditional.
More traditional. the most widely known would be like Kenya. There's, I mean, Nigerian culture is quite unique in the way it is. I would say Southern Africa as well. There's a few. I'm trying to think of countries off the top of my head, but yeah, it's the diversity of culture, dance, music. You know.
I mean, maybe you can follow after this, but for me, what stayed with me was, which was very unique, was Ethiopian way of dancing, using the neck and the shoulders.
Yeah.
And the way they spin the neck is like endlessly, and the shoulders and coordinates like you go dizzy if you do it. If you're not
Ironically, I've never been to Ethiopia. I've been there, flights and airports and things, but I've never been to
in transit.
Country. Yeah, I've been in transit, but I've never been to the country.
Even the cuisine, the food is very, and that's where you see that Africa is connected. They do this injera, which is like ding, this dish that the Tswana people do here, but they do it like a pancake. They roll it, and I don't know if they served it in the plane for you to try it, because Ethiopian Airways like to bring it
To
when
do
they,
that.
to do that and say you want to try traditional food, and they do this in Tswana they call it chotlo, like stew, but they kind of really beyond diced, and it's almost liquid, and then they put it on that. It's like this feels a little bit Tswana, but it's far away.
Well, it's one of the countries I'm looking forward to going. So I will give you feedback.
Yeah, give me feedback when you go. I can tell you the women look beautiful and tall in that country. So probably just in terms of and I think it's the fusion of African genetic and the more Arab that you see through that. And very not big, very skinny. Even the doors of some of the buildings are extra small. Like if you beg,
The doors.
the doors, yeah, the way they've done them. It's just a lot of details and all that. And I went there a few times, many times. Like in a way, remind me like Botswana as a country, but it's
Botswana?
bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bigger. That there's no really crime. You can leave your bag in the back seat of the car and lock it. Don't lock it, and people really won't mess it up. Maybe Addis Ababa has changed now with it thing. In some parts of the town, like Botswana, you see people's cars moving around, and no problem. So, and that's typical Africa, right?
Yeah.
The town planning, it's a little bit. I cut this piece, you cut the piece, and you build, and all that. And that time I saw a rogue intercontinental hotel, which is like written Intercon, but it's just not real Intercon.
Not Intercon. You see a few of those across the continent, actually, where names are taken and brands are used in local.
Yeah, eventually people get in trouble. We've interviewed a few people there who took, like somebody here took a Kmart from the US and make it chain here without permission.
Getting the permission
and they
from
moved
there.
in. Somebody's cooking your Kmart in South Africa. And actually the guy who runs here, the Roman pizzas, they used to call it Caesar's Pizza. And then Caesars from the US came. And like, what is this? Like,
so they changed it to Roman.
Yeah, they had to change it. It's like they tried to legally fight. They realized it's a David and Goliath fight.
Yeah.
You may win, but you're not likely to win, in terms of that. So, over to you.
You said earlier you studied in Lagos.
Yes.
What did you study?
Ooh. My first degree was actually geography. And regional planning.
Okay.
And then I started my career in IT.
Career in IT.
Yeah, so I was an IT. That was when all the IT stuff the bubble was getting interesting. So that was it's similar to AI now, where everybody's talking about AI now.
Yeah.
We were all talking IT and computers at that point in time. So I started in IT.
So where did the pivot happen? Because obviously you're not.
Where did it happen?
When and where, yeah.
When it was, so I had a career in IT and project management. So at the time, project managers, IT guys were the best project managers, or I'm sure they still are. So it was one of those conversations where the marketing team of where I was working said they needed some help in managing one of the biggest campaigns. And they came to me to help them to manage. And I did that. It was one of the big campaigns at the time. And from there, the marketing conversation started. And then I moved into new product development, innovation. So managing product
Also
development.
in the alcohol space, beverages?
In the alcohol space, yeah.
Okay, you're developing new products.
Yes, sir. I've launched a few brands in my time.
So
From scratch.
From scratch. Yeah.
When you were doing this, did you not feel out of your depth or anything, like a fish out of water?
Yeah,
like
I think when I moved into marketing, the first 6 months was trying to understand the language, because you know how marketing people speak: ATL, BTL, this TL, everything is an acronym.
4 P's.
4 P's, 5 P's, and all of those things. But so the first 6 months, I was like, what the hell are these people talking about, But with time, you get used to it. And, marketing is about creativity. It's about understanding, being very consumer-centric insights and all of those things. So with time, I moved from innovation, which is new product development. And the benefit of new product development is that you work through the entire organization. So you will do sales, you will do marketing, you do regulatory, you will do finance, you will do corporate affairs, everything. So and that was the beginning of the whole conversation in terms of understanding marketing or even getting to general management.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think, looking back on it now, best decision you ever made, or do you think you could still go back to IT and be in that field?
No, best decision I ever made. I
Guys,
don't think I even think IT anymore. But that was a period I went back and forth. It was also when the whole SAP conversation started. SAP and all of that. So I went to marketing, came back to IT, went back, and then I decided, okay, this is where I wanted to be, and that was where the more marketing conversation happened.
the guy's MD now with a lot of benefits. Can drink as much as he like now. No limit.
I wish.
And did you have to go back to school and study something related to marketing, or was it just a clean, I'm just getting experience on the job and this is how it's gonna be?
So I do have a master's. I have an MBA, but even my master's was in IT. So I did a computation master's, but it was a lot of experience. I think that's the best teacher. Yeah. And honestly, the innovation conversation, the new product development time that I had was, I think, what really grew me into pure marketing, or enabled me to be able to grow into that marketing, and also from a general manager point of view. That period was one of the best I enjoyed.
All right. So you're like a proper success story of, you can study one thing but then end up in a whole completely different field, working, and actually still be happy.
Exactly. I studied geography. I used to draw maps when I was in school, cartography, all those kind of things, regional planning. Never used it for anything in a day. Then I went into IT, started my career there, then went into marketing, then general management. So again, I believe that doesn't matter. Education is just preparing you for stepping into the real world. So it doesn't really matter what you study. A lot of your experience and what you gain is when you get into it, and you learn as you go, and you build your experiences as you go.
All right, I'm sure that's very.
Except you want to be a architect or something. So maybe that's different. But
it's true.
again,
but I'm sure a lot of people will take a lot of value from not only hearing your experience, but the fact that life isn't that linear.
No. And I know people that even in their 40s, 50s have gone back to read law, have gone back to study something else, And the thing about life is it's what makes you happy at the end of the day. I love what I do. I enjoy my work,
And the products.
But that's the enjoying my work. So it is my work. So I completely enjoy it. I love the experiences. I love the fact to be able to travel and experience cultures, people, engage in different conversations. So as long as you enjoy what you do.
And those happy moments, I think that your products create. So I have two last questions, and maybe you have a last one, and then we allow you that moment of revenge. So the one question is, I mean, you typical example of a leader who's built up this kind of the steps to the top floor. You didn't just go there somewhere. You were meandering around Africa before you get to be the king of Africa, which you are today.
I don't know about the king, but yeah.
Okay, the CEO or MD of Africa, otherwise known as the king of Africa, Penodricad. Any mess up, any mistake and stuff that you've made in the past that you can call out one or two?
I think everybody makes mistakes, or I don't know if you call them mistakes, but it's part of the learning experience. It's part of the journey, because
right all the time.
you can't. There's products that I've launched that have tanked. They haven't happened. We had to write off stuff in my previous life.
Where you had botched the launches.
Oh yeah, where you've thought, oh, the market is going to go this way. Let's look at this product. Let's look at this insight or whatever it is, and then you launch, and you realize the market has moved on. So you cost the business. So
how did your boss look at you?
My boss was actually quite receptive. But again, 9 out of 10 innovations fail. That's also the stats, So at the end of the day, if you get one right, you're doing well. And people don't realize that 9 actually fail before you get that one right. But when you get that one right, that's what a lot of people see. Yeah. So I see it as it's the learning journey. And if you don't fail, you wouldn't learn. It's about how do you learn from the mistakes? How do you learn from the challenges? How do you, get up, pick yourself up, and keep going? That's the part that a lot of people don't see, especially in businesses when you make decisions. And you said it in your book and all of that. So it's what you take from those experiences and how you move forward.
Yeah, cool. Any regrets in life, at work, at home? At school?
At school? No, I wouldn't say regrets. I would have
learned.
Maybe lessons learned in terms of, I schooled my master's I did in the UK at some point in time. I think I could have taken more experiences from that and really seen more of the world at that point in time. So lessons learned is don't wait to do what you can do now and keep pushing things out. Oh, I will get there. I will do it. take ownership of the moment. I would say
go after your dream.
Go after it. Take ownership of the moment, because you never know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cutting short before he can revenge.
I mean, I don't have any questions, but I like the whole fact that you said you studied this, and then you ended up in a completely different space, and you're super happy now.
Yeah.
I think that's my takeaway from this whole thing is that there's always something for you, and especially when it comes to working and all that, you should always be able to find your path, whether it's something you studied or you didn't study.
Okay, Sola, your moment now.
To ask you guys the questions.
Yeah, or him, maybe.
How much Ebola are you going to pay? I'm just joking.
That's not up to me.
No, I maybe two things, and I know we spoke about it, in you getting your dad to start this podcast. What was the motivation for you?
What? To tell him to start this?
Yeah.
It wasn't, I mean, I was just looking at how my dad was posting articles every month. And he was basically trying to build a platform where you can have conversation about the things he's writing about. So I just came to him one day and said, why don't you start a podcast where you can, speak about these things you're so passionate about? Because you're posting every month.
But why a podcast, though?
Because, first of all, it's very relevant to the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Very relevant.
True.
And second of all, he likes people. He likes speaking to people. That's something he's very good at.
I like people.
He likes speaking.
Exactly. So I thought this would be something that would very play to his strengths. So that's the short version of it. Yeah.
Okay. For you, why the book?
The book for me is just out of the experience that I traveled on the ground. Yeah. I mean, I had soaked in so much of experience looking at those cities and all that. At the time, I was not counting where I was traveling on the continent. Yeah. But then I realized I learned so much, and I thought it would be better to put pen to paper and just advise people who haven't traveled the road, who are still going to travel. That's why when I launched the book and somebody asked me, the book, it's a executive wanting to expand and grow into Africa. That's why the 8 moves. Yeah. Most of the stuff in the book is things that I've done, places that I've been. I've added up some case studies based on companies that got it wrong, got it right. Yeah, it's a mix of all that. But the book is, I'll say, an MBA must read for somebody who wants to expand into that. Link to that is starting to do a bit of master classes, 2 hours with executives to try and really get into the details. If growth is a pain point, we sit down, say, with execs and deep dive into that. What's stopping you? Why don't you connect to the communities where you do business to get acceptance, to deeply connected to do the business? Connect with the godfathers of every town where you are, because that's Africa. Yeah. Africa is about earning the trust of the people. Trust is a very big thing. So sometimes businesses that are eager to expand, they miss that step and they get it wrong, especially a lot of South African companies come back from Nigeria running. Look at ShopRite. I mean, they were so connected to Nigeria. I think they set up probably 25 stores. Yeah. And it's documented 25 stores. And now they're on a reverse gear because they haven't probably figured out on weaving in the local Nigerian fresh produce supplies and how to work. Yeah. So I always advise people to say, big firms, you have to customize and connect to the local market. In terms of how, you do business and how you reach, the local market. If you just go in, and I was talking to Richard on Cash Converters, this business here, and say, because they're expanding into Africa. If they ever set up a cash converters in Lagos,
they better be ready to deal with generators in and out and stuff that is more relevant. If they go to Nairobi, they probably have to look into solar, green energy, those products that can bring power to the people in a green way. And Zambia, Namibia, Ghana, kind of different. So that's been the essence of the book for me. And connected to the podcast, this is a leadership podcast for people like you to say, don't neglect yourself. Play with your daughters. Spend more time there. It's refreshing. And also those moments pass very fast. And I mean, he can tell you, I'm not perfect. I wasn't an angel. I kind of, again, passing that experience to other people to take care of it much more early. That's my story.
It's fair. I think the one thing in terms of Africa you were talking about is anybody that wants to move in Africa, you cannot be culturally ignorant.
Exactly.
In terms of whatever country, whatever city you go into, so that's the local nuances, understand the business in the market you want to go to. So it's not a one size, take it and go dump it there. You have to connect locally. You have to understand the culture. You have to understand the buying patterns, the selling patterns, the specific consumer conversations in those markets.
Exactly. And for somebody who's heading up a multinational here, you have to also make sure that your local strategy or it's aligned with HQ or HQ is aligned with you. If there's no alignment in terms of that understanding, normally typical Africa payback is longer. If they say invest in this country, make money now, it's not going to work. You need to tell your bosses right now, like, no, I'll start giving you something next year.
But it's the clarity from the start. You need to be very clear what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
The vision for the markets have to be clear. Everybody needs to understand that. For multinationals, I mean, our heritage, our culture is what you are bringing into the local. But at the same time, you can't ignore the local.
Yeah, talk about shared value as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you solving those societal problems while you're making money, or you just want to make money and forget about everything else? Then it's going to be short term.
And how do you impact the communities you operate in?
Exactly.
Very important.
Solving the societal challenges while you're connecting to the communities.
Exactly. Exactly. Cool.
So, Sola, thank you very much for gracing the show. Appreciate it. I actually like you, man. You're a really good guy.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Yeah.